I'm always trying to do better than I did probably yesterday.
But if you break my heart, I go there to your father.
Before we even start this one, let's just take a moment. A real moment of silence for a queen Ghana lost far too soon.
One day you will know. These are the words of my mother. I see all the bad things I did, oh, you still did bless me. And now I see, oh.
Take a breath. Because this isn't a story about a beef, or a comeback, or a chaotic night that everybody survived. This is a story about a girl who Ghana is still not fully done grieving, years later. A girl the whole country criticized while she was alive.
Somebody better. If you dress, you say you show your breast, you say you show your pussy, you say no one respect. But today you pour there.
And then couldn't stop crying for the moment she was gone. If her name still makes you feel something, even now, this one's for you. And if you loved her, if you were ever one of her loyal fans, follow this channel for her, so her story keeps getting told the right way, long after the rest of the internet moves on. This is the story of Ebony Reigns.
I've been hustling in the morning, in the afternoon and in the evening.
Her real name was Priscilla Opoku-Kwarteng, born on the 16th of February, 1997, in Danseman, a suburb of Accra, though her family's roots trace back to the Brom-Ahafo region. Her parents, Nana Opoku-Kwarteng and Beatrice Opoku-Kwarteng, separated when she was still young, but both of them stayed close to her throughout her life. To her own family, she wasn't Ebony at all, she was Nana Hima, meaning queen, a name that turned out to be almost prophetic. Long before the stage name Ebony Reigns, she was actually nicknamed Corruption by people close to her, a small, strange detail most fans never even hear about. She started her education at 7th grade Princess Academy in Danseman, and later attended Methodist Girls High School in Mamf, but in 2015, still a teenager, she made the decision to walk away from school entirely to chase music full-time. She didn't have to wait long for her shot. A hype man named OG the MC discovered her and introduced her directly to Bullet, the musician and entrepreneur behind Rough Town Records. She sent him a simple voice recording, and within a single day, she was signed. In December of 2015, she dropped her debut single, Dance Floor. And by March of 2016, her song Coupe turned her into a genuine sensation almost overnight.
If you wanna give me trouble, boy, I swear you lie. If you know fit handle, please don't waste my time.
From there, the hits didn't stop. Poison, Sponsor,
See, I've got myself a sponsor. Anything me ask me to bye bye. Even though it's older, but I got to survive in this life.
Hustle, Date Your Father,
See, I heard them say, boy, you a player. You the score like Messi, play like Kaka, dribble like Wakaso.
each one bigger than the last. But underneath the bad girl image, there was real substance too. Her song Mommy Shwe tackled domestic violence directly,
Everywhere we are, Shaka Neganjanko. Now he dey beat me every night and day. Mommy Shwe.
proving there was far more to her artistry than most critics ever gave her credit for. Now here's the part of her story that split the entire country in half while she was still alive. Ebony's stage persona was bold, sensual, and completely unapologetic, branding herself as the original 90s bad girl, performing in outfits that pushed hard against what conservative Ghana considered acceptable for a young woman. And the backlash was constant. Older, more traditional Ghanaians called her a bad influence on the youth, worried publicly that young girls watching her would grow up believing that kind of image was the path to success. Even gospel musician Sonny Bodu caught serious backlash simply for publicly asking people to stop criticizing her and show her some love instead. Through all of it, Ebony herself barely blinked, telling Hits FM directly that she didn't care what people said about her dresses, and that her own manager was actually the one toning her down, not pushing her further. Her father went even further than that, publicly defending her again and again, saying he personally helped choose her outfits and blessed her before every single performance, and that he wasn't ashamed of anything his daughter did. Whether you agreed with her image or not, one thing was true, she never once apologized for being exactly who she was. By the end of 2017, Ebony had become one of the fastest rising stars Ghana had ever produced, releasing her debut album, Bonafide, in December of that year. And it was during this same period that she grew genuinely close to Shatta Wale, linking up with him in the studio for the song Sponsor, remixed with his verse added, recorded together at his own SM studios.
Go feel by your house, by your white too. True, I be broke nigga, but I love you. Remember, everything will come soon.
Their bond wasn't just a business collaboration either. It was real enough that what happened after her death would go on to say everything about how deeply he actually cared for her. Then came the 8th of February, 2018. Ebony had traveled to Sunyani to visit her mother, and was making her way back to Accra along the Kumasi-Sunyani highway, riding with her close friend, Franklin Amomi Yatebewankansa, better known as Frankie Corey, and a military officer named Atsu Vondi, just one day before she was scheduled to begin a music tour of Europe. Near Yami Becheri, close to Mankranso in the Ashanti region, on a stretch of road that was actively under construction at the time, their black Jeep collided head-on with an oncoming VIP bus. Ebony, Frankie, and Atsu all lost their lives that day. She was 20 years old, just 8 days away from her 21st birthday. Only the driver, a man named Katri Oko, survived. In the days that followed, exactly what caused the crash became its own small controversy, with the driver claiming from his hospital bed that he'd swerved to avoid a heap of sand left behind by road contractors after giving way to a speeding bus, while a passenger on that same VIP bus gave a conflicting account, insisting Ebony's vehicle had been the one driving dangerously. The full truth of that night has never been fully settled either way. What is certain is that the stretch of road where it happened was already known as a dangerous, accident-prone section long under repair, and years later, Ghanaians are still using her death to push conversations about road safety and the state of the country's highways. Ghana went completely silent the next morning, and then it broke. President Akufo-Addo and former President Mahama both issued public tributes. Fellow musicians across Africa, Shatta Wale, Yemi Alade, Efia, and so many others, poured out their grief online. And then something happened that said everything about how deep his love for her really was. Shatta Wale stood up and spoke, visibly shaken, both at her one-week celebration and again at her funeral, in moments so emotional that people are still watching and sharing that footage years later. This wasn't performance. This was a man genuinely grieving someone he cared about. In the weeks and months that followed her death, something darker also started to spread. Rumors began circulating online that her own parents had somehow sacrificed her for money, a cruel and deeply painful conspiracy theory rooted in local superstition rather than any actual evidence. Her father, Nana Opoku-Kwarteng, was forced to publicly and directly deny the accusations, calling them exactly what they were, grief-fueled speculation with absolutely nothing behind them. It's worth saying plainly, there has never been any credible evidence to support that theory, and repeating it does real, lasting harm to a grieving family who had already lost everything. What's true, and what matters, is that Ghana lost a genuinely once-in-a-generation talent in a tragic, ordinary road accident, the kind that happens on Ghanaian roads far too often, and no cruel rumor should ever be allowed to overshadow that. At the 2018 Vodafone Ghana Music Awards, held just months after her death, Ebony was posthumously crowned the first ever female artist of the year in the show's history, with her album, Bonafide, also taking home Album of the Year. She never got to walk up on that stage herself, and that fact alone still breaks people's hearts to this day. What happened to her legacy after that has actually kept unfolding for years, in ways most fans never fully followed. Later in 2018, her label, Roughtown Records, publicly announced it was handing over full ownership of her unreleased songs to her father, Nana Opoku-Kwarteng, even though the label was legally entitled to 60% of the royalties on those tracks. That decision came after real public tension between Bullet, the label's founder, and Ebony's father, who at one point accused Bullet of exploiting his daughter and quickly moving on to build up other artists, including Wendy Shea, in her place. Bullet has firmly denied ever mismanaging her earnings, and has said publicly that developing Ebony's career actually left him deep in debt he says he is still repaying, even years later. As recently as 2026, Bullet revealed he had personally paid her father $100,000, representing 50% of her total royalties, more than double the 20% her father was originally entitled to under her old contract. It's a messy, very human postscript to her story: money, family, and grief all tangled together, and it's still not fully resolved, even now. We are getting close to 10 years since Ghana lost her, and somehow, the pain of that loss hasn't faded the way most people expected it to. She was criticized relentlessly while she was alive for daring to be unapologetically herself, and then almost universally mourned the moment she was gone, a contradiction that still makes a lot of Ghanaians uncomfortable to sit with, even now. But her music never stopped playing. Her records never stopped being remembered. And the young women who came after her in Ghanaian music, the ones who dared to be bold, to be loud, to own their image without asking permission, owe more to her than most of them will ever publicly say. If Ebony's story means something to you, if her voice still means something to you, do us one favor before you go: share this video. Not for us, for her. Because the only way someone like her truly never fades is if we keep saying her name. And if you're new here, subscribe to Magma Decoded. We're a new channel telling the real, untold stories of Africa's biggest names, the ones that deserve to be remembered properly, not just as headlines. Rest in peace, Nana Hima. Ghana still hasn't forgotten you.
You dream of it, you have it, make good use of it. Turn on the light, call me body not fake. Turn on the light and see good body shape. Turn on the light, your boy, before we start the game. Turn on the light.